YouTube, what is going on, everyone? It's your boy AC back with another video, and 2023 is about to be over. Yes, a crazy statement. Honestly, this year, just like every other year, has gone by so fast. And I just want to thank you guys because my goal is to get to 2,000 by the end of the year, and we have well surpassed that so far. So thank you guys so much. And without further ado, let's go over, in my opinion, the top 10 worst sneaker to release this year. Now, this isn't in any specific order. Number 1 doesn't mean it's the worst. Number 10 doesn't mean it's the best. At the end of the day, these are all trash. These are all terrible. They're not ranked specifically, but let me know your guys' list of the top 10 worst sneakers in the comments below. With that being said, let's start off with number 10. We have the Converse OneStar Pro in the 4-leaf clover colorway, and honestly, this is pretty much just a chia pet on your foot. I'm not gonna lie, for a lot of these entries, I have no idea who thought this was a good idea. Same thing with this pair. I don't know who thought this would be a good colorway. I'm pretty sure this is a collab as well, and trash all around, just a trash pair of shoes. Like I said, it literally looks like a chia pet on your foot, or even if you just like smeared some dirt on it, it literally looks like a dirt shoe, and for that reason it's number 10. But let's move over to number 9. This pair of Jordan 1 High Crafts. I don't know who thought this would be a good thing to release. I think, in my opinion, Jordan Brand is getting way too comfortable releasing trash ass colorways. Don't get me wrong, we had a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of clean fire colorways this year, especially on the Jordan 1 High model. But this colorway, I don't know what they were thinking. It looks like spoiled milk in my opinion, and the resale value goes for nothing. And I'm surprised how high the resale value on these are at all, because I don't know who the hell wants to wear a pair of shoes that look like this. The collar looks destroyed, the swoosh looks like it has some sort of disease. And honestly, it's just a pair of Jordan 1s that look terminally ill in my opinion. They're trash. Whoever was in charge of making this colorway and design of the shoe should be fired in my opinion. And yeah, there's really not that much else left to say. So let's move over to number 8, which is the Nike Mockflow SP in the undercover ale brown colorway. I'm just not a fan of this. It really looks like, in my opinion, Nike is trying to make a rip-off Balenciaga, and I don't even know why they thought that would be a good idea. Again, just a trash pair of shoes that nobody wanted, no one asked for, and on a model that isn't that desirable, and honestly just looks like a rip-off of a Balenciaga. So I don't know why they're trying so hard to make a Balenciaga, but they failed miserably. And let's quickly get past this and move over to number 7. And honestly, this one is straight garbage. The Nike Dunk High 1985 in the Valentine's Day colorway. This looks like this shoe's been sitting in like piss or something. It's disgusting. I get they're trying to go for an aged look on this shoe, but they failed miserably. It looks disgusting. It looks gross. This is a brand new pair of shoes, and it literally looks disgusting. I would never touch this pair because I'd be scared to get some sort of disease touching this thing. But in my opinion, it looks like it's been in places that you don't want your shoe to be into places. So for that reason, this colorway, this colorway in general, like, again, the 1985 cut of the Dunk Highs, it's not my favorite, but this colorway is definitely not helping at all. This, honestly, this has to be one of the ugliest shoes on this list. I'm not gonna lie, I hate this shoe. Disgusting. Honestly, every single person who is in charge of making each shoe on this list should be fired and blacklisted and never should be able to make another shoe ever again, because these are garbage. I know a lot of this is like subjective and it's my personal opinion, but you guys have to let me know in the comments below if you're agreeing with me on this list so far, because I do have some pretty hot takes coming up, but I don't see how a lot of you guys can disagree that these are not trash. But let's move over to number 6, almost a halfway point. The Nike Shox MR4 Mule, specifically in the safety orange colorway. I'm really not trying to be wearing some high heel Nikes, and realistically, this shoe colorway, the colorway doesn't matter on this pair. It's specifically this model of shoe. I don't understand who the hell wants to be wearing high heels all around. I mean, I guess if you're trying to get an insane like calf pump, these things would be an amazing everyday wear, but other than that, I'm not a fan of this model whatsoever. This one's kind of a hot take, just because on screen you guys can see the resale value on these things is insane. So people are out there buying these, but in my opinion, trash, terrible model. Let's go over to the halfway point. Number 5, probably the biggest hot take on this list, because these things go for a stupid amount of money on the resale value, and that is the Nike CPFM Air Flea 2. I don't know who's buying these things. I don't know why these are so hyped up. Doesn't matter the colorway, every single colorway is hot trash. The model itself, just like the previous pair, is just terrible. I know there's gonna be some people in the comments below saying that I'm tripping on this pair. Again, I don't know who the hell is wearing this shoe, this bulky ass Minecraft looking shoe, but in my opinion it's just hot garbage. It honestly just looks mad goofy on foot. For some reason it reminds me of, like, you know, the shoes you wear for when you go into like the ocean or into a lake, and it has grip on the bottom so you don't slip around on the algae and stuff. That's what this shoe is giving me heavy reminders of, just like inflated. Plus the swoosh looks like it has type 2 diabetes. I'm not a fan of this shoe whatsoever. It's mad ugly. Probably the ugliest one on this list, I'm not gonna lie. I hate this model so much, and that resale value just makes me hate it even more, knowing that people are spending this amount of money on them. It's disgusting. But let's move over to number 4. Kind of a controversial take, because we've seen some trash things on this list, and this one, it's not like as bad as the other ones, but it's pretty bad. Thankfully, it was a grade school, preschool, and I'm pretty sure toddler release only, so we didn't have any men's sizes. That is a Jordan 3 in this Dunk on Mars colorway. I just really wasn't a fan of this colorway at all. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, it's not the worst thing on this list, but after seeing some of these trash ass shoes, it makes any shoe look way better. And I think that's what's happening with this Jordan 3. It's making it seem not as bad as the others just because of the comparison. We had type 2 diabetic shoe and a high heel, and now we're comparing it to a Jordan 3. So it's not that fair having it here, but at the end of the day, it deserved to be a place on this list. Probably if we had to rank it from best to worst, this one would probably be number 10, and honestly that pair, the diabetic shoe, probably number 1. But with that being said, let's move over to number 3, a shoe that I think rightfully goes on this list, but I know a lot of people are big fans of Jordan 2s, especially the lows, but we have the Jordan 2 low in this responsibility colorway, and I don't know what it is, but it's really giving me like heavy old grandma couch vibes. I don't know why. I think it's because of the midsole, but looking at it closely, that midsole looks like a chewed up eraser. It's just a trash colorway, and if you guys have been watching my channel, you know I hate Jordan 2s. Being the high tops or the low tops, they're all trash in my opinion. And it's not like I have a hot take or anything, because the Jordan 2 model literally almost made Michael Jordan leave Nike altogether, because he also just hated that shoe. But for me, the Jordan 2, especially the low top model, they just look like bowling shoes in my opinion. They look exactly the same model to a bowling shoe, so that's why I can't see anything other than a bowling shoe when I do look at some Jordan 2s. So with that being said, that's why it's on this list. Trash pair. And it just gives me a heavily used eraser vibe, or like an old person's couch. And I'm just not a fan of that whatsoever. But with that being said, we have 2 more things on this list. Let's move over to number 2. Another Jordan 1 high, but this time in the Zoom Air CMFT2. Specifically, I've mentioned this before on one of my videos before the shoe came out, and it is the Tiana Taylor, a Rose from Harlem. And I don't care what the backstory is, I don't care the meaning, this shoe is straight ass, and the fact that it goes for as much money as it does just makes me even more mad. Just like with those diabetic shoes, I don't understand how or why they're as popular or as in demand as they are. They literally look like a McDonald's worker shoe. I'm not gonna lie. If I saw some guy that's working at McDonald's wearing these, I would not be surprised. I'd be like, yeah, fits uniform, fits everything, fits the theme. But again, for some reason, these things are more hyped up than what they should be, honestly. I couldn't care less if they have the best quality. I couldn't care if they had Jordan 1 high Dior quality vibes to this thing. They could have the best quality in the world, and I would still put them on this list, because at the end of the day, they could have the best quality in the world, but the shoe itself is just straight up ugly in my opinion. And yeah, the theme probably has to do with a bunch of the backstory with the shoe, but at the end of the day, not my cup of tea. Don't like it whatsoever. The thorns on it, the colorway on it, pretty much the colorway. They could have switched out the colorway, maybe not use that red, maybe use a little bit less red. I don't know. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. I never was a fan of it. And I'm surprised that they even go for as much as they do right now, because I thought these would have been a brick of a shoe. But with that being said, let's move over to number 1, and that is unfortunately an OffWhite shoe. Now, OffWhite has been having a pretty hard time recently making some good collaborations, and just like this pair, the Air Force One mid OffWhite in this green colorway. Now, you can pretty much put any of the Air Force One mids here and it'd be fine, but in my opinion, this green colorway is just, it's not as good as the rest, and they're all trash, but this one is just the worst out of the bunch, I guess. And that's saying a lot coming from me, because if you guys have been watching some of my previous videos, you guys know that green is my favorite color, and it just shows how bad these are with me putting them on the list with them being green. But at the end of the day, who wants to be walking around with little spikes on the bottom? Even if you do cut them off, I've seen people like customize the shoe by cutting off the bottom so it's just a normal pair, but at the end of the day, it's still ugly. Maybe it's because we have OffWhite set at such a high standard that once they release something like this, it's like our expectation is just not met. But at the end of the day, that is my top 10 list. You guys have to let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Which pairs would you put on this list that I missed out on? And let's just pray 2024 isn't as bad as this year, because don't get me wrong, we had a bunch of very solid, good sneakers that came out this year. It's just, these ones were pretty bad. These ones were a huge miss, and yeah, some a lot worse than the others. But yeah, thank you guys for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss any of my newest videos. Thank you guys for all the support recently. The year is coming to the end, and I'm very happy with the amount of growth I've seen throughout this year. So thank every single one of you guys, because without you guys, none of this would have been possible. And yeah, I have big things in mind for 2024, so be on the lookout for then. I'll give you some few hints since you guys made it to the end. If you have been watching, you know I don't just do videos like this. For the longest time, I did primarily only do my series of going from $100 all the way up to $100,000, and with that series coming to a close, because spoiler alert, we are only a few episodes away from hitting that goal, which is insane to think about, that I started with $100 bills and I've continuously bought, traded, and sold sneakers till I made $100,000. Insane to think about. So with that being said, this isn't set in stone or anything, but 2024 sneaker store. I will see you guys in my next video.